Don't sleep, you know? No, bottom line, I mean, they call it dreaming because you're sleeping while this happens, you know? I've lived my dream every day. I wake up, I go out there, I work hard for it. Patience, passion, perseverance equals success. Everybody, you know, you call it a dream. No, you can make it reality. So I always say, you know, I dream and they stay dormant. They stay sleeping. So for everybody out there, it's a dream, but wake up and get out there and get it.
Nelson Mandela is a particularly special case study in the leadership world because he is universally regarded as a great leader. You can take other personalities, and depending on the nation you go to, we have different opinions about other personalities. But Nelson Mandela, across the world, is universally regarded as a great leader. He was actually the son of a tribal chief. And he was asked one day, how did you learn to be a great leader?
You know, when you create something, you're trying to create a moment or a feeling or trying to create an idea or inspire people to make their lives better, right? And I see a lot of people get caught in ego gratification. A lot of people get caught in, you know, creating for money or creating for... Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist.
My favorite quote is from Albert Schweitzer, who said, "I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I do know. The only ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve." Boy, he's right on. The happiest people are not always the most successful people, but they're the ones who serve the best.
I've had financial crashes, I've had people stab me in the back, but they're all good because I grow from it. That's spirituality. Right. You know, people who are afraid of making mistakes like they teach in school, they don't ever grow because spirituality is there's good and there's bad, there's right and there's wrong, there's up and there's down. The school system will never teach you about money. The school system was designed to teach you to be an employee, which is important, or a doctor or a lawyer, a specialist. But
it's like Everest is obvious to climb because it's there, it's a mountain. Personal Everests, you know, you can't see them, you know, and that journey to the top of the mountain and back down again is fraught with hazards.
Yeah.
And no one can see it but you. So letting people in to help, you know, when you can't trust, you know, and when you have to trust, and then, you know, endeavouring to make the journey within yourself to do something, you know, to achieve.
We fought and we made something from nothing. Not only we done it with music, done it with my life. When I visit students, I also tell them that the greatest risk they take is not taking one, which, by the way, Miss Martinez taught me that. And I use it to this day. Anytime I feel that, I feel nervous, like I feel right now, I take the risk.
How long would it take to go to cash? And the answer is going to cash. We don't go to cash, and going to cash under almost all circumstances is stupid. Because, among other things, when you go to cash, you have to be right away. Because if you go to cash and prices keep going up for a while, as they invariably will, and returns continue to be positive, you fall so far behind by being in cash that you may even jeopardize your business to stay in business.
I bought my first stock when I was 11 years old. It was the first quarter of 1942, shortly after Pearl Harbor. I spent $114.75. Three shares, $114.75. If I put that $114 into the S&P 500 at that time and reinvested the dividends, think of a figure as to what it would be worth today.
The song, it says, every day above ground is a great day. When you start like that, you're good. You got to appreciate that you already have an opportunity. When you start looking too hard, it starts to hide. When we were younger, we call each other, you know, hey, what you up to? You say, oh, I'm on this paper chase. Then I broke down those words, a paper chase.
That means I'm chasing paper. If I'm chasing paper, the paper's gonna run. It all depends on what you want to do and how you want to grow. But if you think money's gonna make you happier, you are completely confused.
Stop saying things that made me weak. I mean, I'm still trying to do that because I'm always feeling when I talk whether or not the words that I'm saying are either making me align or making me come apart. I think alignment is the right way of conceptualizing it, because I think if you say things that are as true as you can say them, let's say, then they come out of the depths inside of you. Because we don't know where thoughts come from. We don't know how far down into your substructure the thoughts emerge.
People I really like, Thomas Edison. Here's a model of his original light bulb. He's famous for saying 1% inspiration, 99% perspiration. It turns out ideas are the easy part. Execution is everything.
Why? If this dollar doesn't lose its worth of its value, then why do you feel like you've lost your worth of value? Because many of you feel like you've been stepped on, you feel like you've been pushed aside, you feel like you've been abandoned, you feel like you've been talked about, you feel like you've been abused, like someone took from you, someone hurt you, somebody took advantage of you, and deep down inside your core, you feel like you've lost some of your value. And I am here to tell you today that this dollar still has worth and value, because there are some men years ago.
It is okay to be scared. It is okay to cry. Everything is okay, but giving up should not be an option. They always say that failure is not an option. Failure should be an option, because when you fail, you get up, and then you fail, and then you get up, and that keeps you going. That's how humans are strong. Failure is an option, should be an option, but giving up is not. Never.
To me, there's no such thing as luck, okay? All luck is preparation meeting opportunity, plain and simple. You have to be ready, prepared for that situation.
Scars heal. No, they don't. Wounds heal. You gotta let go of that stuff from the past, because it just doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you choose to be now.
Self-discipline and being able to perform and being able to keep your life on schedule and being able to keep commitments and promises and meet deadlines is essential to success.
Hey. Don't ever let somebody tell you you can't do something. Not even me. All right?
You know, there's one place that all the people with the greatest potential are gathered. One place, and that's the graveyard. The stories of the people who dreamed big and never saw those dreams to fruition.
I was poor because I didn't have anything. I had no money, I had no things, we had no TV, we had no refrigerator, we had nothing as kids, but I was rich because I had a dream. I was poor because I didn't have anything.
Money will come and go. We know that. But the most important thing in life will always be the people in this room. Right here. Right now.
Let me ask you something. If someone prays for patience, you think God gives them patience? Or does he give them the opportunity to be patient? If they prayed for courage, does God give them courage, or does he give them opportunities to be courageous? If someone prayed for the family to be closer, do you think God zaps them with warm, fuzzy feelings? Or does he give them opportunities to love each other?
Fear is going to be a player in your life, but you get to decide how much. You can spend your whole life imagining ghosts, worrying about the pathway to the future, but all there will ever be is what's happening here, and the decisions we make in this moment, which are based in either love or fear. So many of us choose our path out of fear disguised as practicality. What we really want seems impossibly out of reach and ridiculous to expect, so we never dare to ask the universe for it.
You gotta have a plan. Everybody's got a dream, everybody's got a goal. What's the plan? And your plan has got to have something I call the C5 complex. Your plan has got to be clear, concise, compelling, consistent, and committed. You got to have a plan. And when you're trying to do something that you're truly passionate about, there is no plan B.
Okay.
Plan B sucks.
All right.
How much more successful do you want me to be?
More successful.
How many records can my records break?
More records.
But I'm the best.
But are you a different animal and the same beast?
What the does that mean, Kobe Bryant?
You're welcome.
What the is he talking about?
One of the biggest things about being an entrepreneur is finding and learning from everybody else on what they're doing, their negatives and their positives, and create your own lane. So therefore, anytime you come across opportunities, you guys have the leverage in that deal. I was saying that, to be honest with you, look, I've been in the game 20 years now, and this is my first year completely independent. And that's what we've worked so hard for. You know?
When I was 20, I worked for I grew up in Mount Vernon, New York. I worked for the sanitation department. I was a garbage man.
You were a garbage man?
I was a garbage man. I worked in the back of the truck, 22 square blocks. That's hard. Doing movies, there's nothing that we do in the movies that's hard.
I used to deliver for United Parcel Service on the truck.
Right.
That was hard.
Yeah.
This is a joke.
Yeah.
If you stay in your comfort zone, that's where you will fail. You will fail in your comfort zone. Success is not a comfortable procedure. It is a very uncomfortable thing to attempt. So you got to get comfortable being uncomfortable if you ever want to be successful. Start putting some pressure on. Put some pressure on yourself.
What does school teach you about money? And the answer is nothing. And that's not a mistake. That's not an accident. I knew that. Most people know that. But the way to keep the poor and middle class working hard is never teach them what the rich know.
All these guys, man, that are like, you gotta go to New York and make it happen. No, you don't, man. That's dead now. Do it the way The Weeknd did it. Do it the way Party Next Door did it. Do it the way I did it, you know? Do it from where you're at.
Sell me this pen.
Well, it's a nice pen. You can use the pen to write down thoughts from your life so you can remember.
Brad, show him how it's done. Boom. Sell me that pen. Watch. Go on.
Let me sell this fucking pen.
That's my boy right there.
This pen.
Fucking sell anything.
Why'd you do me a favor? Why'd you name down that napkin for me?
I don't have a pen.
Exactly. Supply and demand, my friend.
You know what I'm saying? He's creating urge.
You're the master, it's the servant. And don't ever get that equation reversed, or you're going to find yourself in very, very deep trouble.
Do you think that people are just too quick to say, oh, Connor's picking what he wants, Connor's doing what he wants?
I am picking what I want, and I am doing what I want. When you can rack up $400 million in revenue for the company in back-to-back events, you can do whatever you want. I'm living the whatever I want life. That's the life I live. Whatever I want, whenever I want. And I have earned that through hard work, through sacrifice, and that's it, through victory.
You have about a 5-second window in which you can move from idea to action before your brain kicks into full gear and sabotages any change in behavior. Because remember, your brain is wired to stop you from doing things that are uncomfortable or uncertain or scary. It's your job to learn how to move from those ideas that could change everything into acting on them.
One, who are you and what your value is? Number two, what is your purpose here in life? And number three, what is your destiny when you're done here? If you don't know the answers of any of those three questions, you're more disabled than I.
Try to do it, because I think you can only do your best work if you're doing what you want to do, and if you're doing it the way you think it should be done, and if you can take pride in it.
I swear on my children's health.
No kidding.
The thought of going to zero, having all of you judge me as, see, he wasn't as good as you thought, and then rising back like a phoenix and sticking it in your fucking face excites the shit out of me.
You have to own your own happiness. Take it away from other people demanding that they make you happy. Your kids are not going to make you happy. Your spouse is not going to make you happy. A big house is not going to make you happy. Own your own happiness and be responsible for doing those things that bring joy into your own heart, independently of life and people and money and all of that stuff. Right. It doesn't necessarily give you a happiness. You have to take responsibility of that peace and that joy that lives inside of your heart and not inside of your stuff.
Wow. The people that you spend time with are going to make or break your dreams. Everybody don't deserve to be around you. You got to defend your light with your life.
Silence is the best answer of all stupid questions. And a smile is the best reaction in all critical situations.
You give me one shot here on a blue chip stock like Kodak. And believe me, Kevin, the only problem you're gonna have is that you didn't buy more. Sound fair enough?
In the book, you say there's your talent, but then there's your gift. And until you discover what your gift is, you are really sort of like aimlessly going through life. You're not really on purpose.
No. See, your talent, you can be a good accountant. You can be a good lawyer. That could be your talent.
Yeah.
But your gift is something. See, your talent will allow you to have a wonderful career. But this is what I've learned. Your career is what you paid for. Your calling is what you made for.
I love volatility. I remember when in 1972 the market went from down dramatically, and Taco Bell went from 14 to 1. They had no debt. They never had a restaurant close, and I started buying at 7, but I kept on to it, and it went to 1. And it was the largest position in Magellan in 1978 when it was bought out by $42 by Pepsi-Cola, and I think it would have gone to 400 if they didn't buy it out. I think volatility is terrific.
You will never succeed more than you fail. That's not how it works. You know why? Because failure is a wonderful teacher. It's the only way to learn. You have to fail. Failure is a part of the process to becoming successful. I tell people this all the time. Michael Jordan, the greatest basketball player in the world, he took 946 game-winning shots. He has missed over 700 times, but he has made 146. You know what they write about?
As good things happen to you, the probability that more good things will happen increases. Right. So because once you're famous, people give you all sorts of opportunities to do other things, right? So your success doesn't go like this. It goes like this. 0, 0, 0, skyrocket.
I know nothing about technology. I know nothing about marketing. I know nothing about the legal, all the stuff. And
What do you know?
I want to know about people. I know people. So you always want people better. And then you have to listen to them. You have to see their thing. And then make all the things to making sure that you can empower them.
I'm really quite overcome with emotion on this day. It's kind of hard to talk, frankly. It's been 18 years working towards this goal. So it's hard to believe that it's happened. So it's a lot of work to do.
I want to get into doing my own thing, starting my own hustle. And I know it stems from a fear of failure, but I have this really hard time. I get crippled when it comes to executing.
And so literally you're just scared to fail? Who are you scared to fail in front of? I'd go talk to that person up front. You look them in the face and say, I'm about to do this, and the only reason I haven't done it for the last year is I don't want to let you down. And I'm not sure if I'm going to win, but long term I'm going to win. And I just need to make sure if I fail on this step that your response to me doesn't crush me to never let me have a second at bat.